One of the most magical parts of Papua New Guinea is the remoteness. You really feel like you've been picked up and put away from the whole rest of the world. The remoteness of it, coupled with how strong everything feels here.
And I think one aspect of this trip that everybody was very curious about is the diving, obviously. I, on purpose, didn't try to expect anything. And I think this is also something that helps coming to that country, not to expect anything, because everything is unexpected anyway. Not only the people and the landscape and everything, but also the diving. The reef and the coral is very, very healthy. It's an abundance of fish life. But on top of it, it has the connection to the above rainforest right there. And you're diving right on the edge of it.
At one point I was coming up in a little channel just to see what was there, and there was a little lizard waiting for me, just staring at my face. A beautiful one. The top of the reef and the karst stone, the ground of the forest, they kind of come together and they form these little swim-throughs and little caves. There's a lot of stuff to explore there on the edge.
You get these beautiful interactions between the shadows that the trees make from above and they cast down in the water. And so you have these light areas and these dark areas, and then you have the sun coming through the branches and the foliage above, and so it makes these beautiful rays that just shoot out in all different directions. And it's this dramatic light that really kind of stands out and makes the imagery really pop and be dynamic.
Like the jungle is going literally right to the edge of the ocean. So when you're in the water, you see it. You see it in a perspective that you usually don't even look at, because usually you just look like what's in front of you. But if you look up and you look what's above you, you will also see people. You see people in canoes looking down at you, and you realize that even though you feel like there's nothing around and it's completely in solitude, there are still people connected with all that.
Having those close encounters out in an environment that they normally would be out in, and just being around people, that is the biggest shift, I think, for me. And that was the most important part of that moment for me. It wasn't just the pictures, it was feeling like it was a true movement into this whole project and starting to understand how things are here.
It feels like the people have a very authentic and unique connection to their surrounding, and we do not belong to their surrounding. Like in many other places, I would have to imagine how it would have been years earlier when people were not so used to guests. Here you have the feeling that you peek into a world that can easily exist without you and does exist without you all the time. It's more about looking into the world of the people here. And it's not one world, it's 800 different languages. It's every island has a completely different culture. When we were walking in the jungle the other day, we found out that people here in the former times weren't even used to hunt animals in the jungle. They were used to hunt other people in the jungle, which is kind of crazy. And it's also something that everybody kind of thinks before coming to Papua New Guinea is about the cannibalism. What is it really about? And do people still do that here? When we discovered that cave with all the skulls, and Gilbert, our guide, was talking about it, it was very interesting to learn about what the people's reception is of their own history.
Years ago, people, they don't live in the villages, they live here, and if they kill someone, they bring them here and they eat them up, and they kept only the skulls here because they keep them as a trophy. I asked my father, and he said it tastes exactly like a chicken, quite tough. But when the missionaries came in 1880s, then totally everything stopped.
In the cave, of course, we wanted to shoot pictures there, but still we were hesitating, not only because it's human remains, also because it's an archaeological site of high importance for these people and it's their cultural heritage. They were comforting us that it's alright, and they were super fine, they were just curious and they were happy to show us. At one point, half of the village was sitting in the cave just watching us doing our thing.
Just being there, the energy, it feels different. And it again helped me feel like I was learning more and more about this culture and this particular area.
There's so many different things, contradictions just popping up everywhere all the time. So we are still trying to find that balance, how we can manage to collect things, but also at the same time digest what we actually see. Being able to identify the stories that we want to tell, and the sad part of it, there will also be a lot of stories that we just have to say no to and will not be able to follow. See, now that we're sitting here doing that, the kids are already start playing out on the pier, and we've been talking about shooting that because we just love the kids, and now we're sitting here, we can't do that. So we would have to stop the interview now and go over there, and we would get in big trouble because we just can't finish everything in time. Sounds ridiculous, but I can already see that after 6 weeks we will all agree to say we have to come back. We weren't able to, there's still so many things that we would be interested in. And I think that's what it's about. 800 different languages. You can easily spend 6 weeks only in this area.